Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 144 of the SuperWeapon Podcast, the most overpowered podcast on the internet. It's your boy Darius the Artist, and as always, I got my co-host DC here with me today.
What up, though? This your boy DC. You know me.
Ooh, bars.
And it was actually supposed to be more than that. I actually thought about this in my head for 10 minutes. And then I come in and I drop the ball every day. It's starting to become my thing. I know it was like bridge builder, wall destroyer, leader of all nerds. And if you ain't heard, Xbox General, something like that. I'm still working on
Look
my
at that
intro.
guy, man.
We're gonna drop some bars. We're gonna drop some bars on that.
I
You know
love
what
the
I'm saying?
bars, man. How you doing today, man? How's your week been? I haven't really talked to you all week. You know, it's been kind of a slow. Outside of a couple things, it's been a pretty slow week. Like, what's been going on with you, man? What you playing?
Well, first of all, just for anybody who's just questioning why I look so warm and comfy, because Atlanta is confused, okay?
Every day.
I mean, some days I wake up, it's hot. I refuse to turn back on my heat because the last couple of days it's been hot as hell. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bundle up and I'm just gonna thug it out. And I'm gonna my nice scarf, Lisa. Shout out to Lisa. Nice. Yeah, you feel me? And I'm just
Oh, yeah,
bundled
that
up.
is it. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
because
awesome.
later on in the day, the sun will come out and it will be hot again. I'm so tired of switching from like hot to cold with my air conditioner and all that stuff. But that's why I look so comfy today, guys. And how's my day? Hey man, my day is great. It's Saturday. I'm here. We live. We got the crew in the building. We got some people in chat turning up, And so it's always a good day to pod with me, man. Pod is like my little ray of freaking sunshine, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a pretty good week. It's like I said, it's been kind of quiet, man. Shout out to all the Destiny players. I know you guys were a lot of people were playing the raid race yesterday, the world's first. I tuned into that. I always like to watch it, even though I'm not really much of a Destiny player anymore. It's always good to check in and just see what's going on with the game. I've also been helping Shaylin, our youngest. She's been playing Last of Us 2, and she's close to the end of the game, I think, because it's been like I
Oh
didn't
no,
realize
she's
how long.
not. If you think she not, trust me.
Well, she's fighting Ellie right now, so I think she got about a third of the game
Nope.
left, maybe, if I remember right. Like, it's been like 3 years since I played it, but it's definitely fun to kind of go back through it because I forgot just how good that game really is. And we got one more episode of the TV show after tomorrow, so pretty excited about that. But yeah, man, it's been a pretty quiet week for me. Like I said, I was expecting to start a new job this week. Unfortunately, some loot had to jump through some more hoops. Won't be starting until Monday, but that's okay. I got a little extra time this week. Made some YouTube content. Make sure you guys check out my YouTube, by the way. Just a quick plug, youtube.com/Darius the Artist. I dropped a Resident Evil 4 gameplay demo video yesterday. And I'm just go ahead and say it. Like, I know, we're going to talk about it later, but I just kind of want to just go ahead and say it. I think that is probably at this moment, just based off the demo game of the year for me. Just being honest. Like, that game's going to be incredible.
Big claims.
Absolutely incredible. I know we got some heavy hitters coming up this year.
Anybody done been noticing how many games we've been getting It's been insane. Like, I don't think people really realize.
Yeah.
February, it picked up and it has not stopped. We've had Atomic Hearts. We had blah, 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 blah. I gotta look at my list. It's so much stuff.
Wolong, Atomic Hearts.
Wolong just dropped.
Monster Hunter dropped on Game Pass, so that kind of saw like a resurgence. What was the other one? Wild Hearts dropped as well.
Wild Hearts came out.
Hold on, let me pull up a list here. Game releases 2023 February. Oh yeah, Like a Dragon, a Yakuza. That's a game series I've never played. I don't know if you've ever played Yakuza. Like, I feel like I missed the boat on it.
No, you can pretty much jump in.
I hear so much good stuff about
I've watched it because Bronze has literally played every last one of them on her channel, and I think I may have enjoyed watching that game more than I would playing it, because let me tell you what happened with that game. I idiotically went into that game thinking it was like a beat 'em up, like street brawler.
Punch special, as you like to say.
No. Nothing's a punch special. Speaking of that, we're gonna talk about that in a minute too. But no, I went in there thinking it was like a Streets of Rage kind of like, beat 'em up like Ninja Turtles,
okay.
kind of like.
Gotcha.
And I was so turned off by the way that it was playing. But the thing is, once I reset my mind and realized like, yo, this is just a modern day like RPG.
Yeah.
And then when you go back in and play it with that in mind, that this is actually a RPG, it's very good. It's a fun game. Like, it's a lot of them. I think it's about 8 of them right now with like 2 prequels or something.
Yeah.
It's a good game to check out, man. If like you're into like RPGs and stuff, and it has a very good storyline, and like they all on Game Pass. Like, you can pick it up from one and just.
Are they?
Like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, all of them are on Game Pass. So yeah, if you just got a little taste for something different, it's there.
Oh, I might have to check that out. Yeah, man. Just like you said, like the year is. I mean, Harry Potter, for you love it or hate it, the game, I think at this point has outsold Elden Ring where Elden Ring was at this point in the year, which is absolutely.
Oh, damn, new Elden Ring DLC. So
Elden Ring
that.
DLC got announced, which I think probably is going to come out at the end of the year, I would imagine. We didn't get any other details on what it is, when it comes out, but I imagine it's going to drop in the fall. So that's just another drop in the bucket of the ocean that is video games at the moment, man. But yeah, man, we got some fun stuff to talk about today. I got to bring Sony to the front of the congregation again. We promised y'all we wouldn't talk about this unless there was some sort of resolution to the Activision Blizzard deal. But my gosh, man, I think things have gotten like inflammatory and out of control at this point.
It's just stupid now. You know what this reminds me of? It's just like reality TV now.
Yeah, it just seems like Sony is, I don't want to say desperate to get the deal stopped at this point, but it just seems like they are trying anything and everything to sway the CMA and the FTC just to make it.
Didn't they literally say that?
So to give you guys a little bit of context, there's like been, I follow a couple of different people who, stay pretty up to date to the, to the whole situation that's been going on between the Activision Blizzard deal and Sony. And there was, this quote that came out that Sony believes that Microsoft is going to release an inferior version of the game onto PlayStation systems if they were to acquire Activision Blizzard. Which I think is just absolutely bukkake. If you don't know what that word means, Google it. It just blows my mind, right, that it is devolved to this point, because I really want to know, what is Sony's end game here? Like, let's say the deal does not go through. Like, I can't imagine that they think Activision is going to be happy with them or going to want to continue to do business with them at the current level that they have been over the last couple of years. Like, and I've seen like people going back and forth about this stuff online, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like, Microsoft stands to gain, I think, close to $1 billion in revenue. I saw someone mention, like, if the deal goes through, because that's about how much Call of Duty makes on PlayStation platforms. Like, why in good God's name would they want to I just don't understand their end game. And it was even to the point that an Activision executive, she's the EVP of corporate affairs and the CCO of Activision Blizzard, Lulu Chang, and if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, please forgive me. I think her last name is Maserve. She was talking to Tom Warren, who's like a really big industry guy, like reporting, and he's a senior editor at The Verge. If you guys have never heard of The Verge, it's one of my favorite tech websites and blogs, like a very reputable site. But she quote tweeted a tweet that he said about the whole buggy, they're not going to do this, right? But why would they keep refusing it? And she basically said that at the February 21st closed briefing that Jim Ryan, the head of Sony, had with the CMA, the European FTC, that he basically said, he doesn't want a deal. He doesn't want to play nice. He just wants to block the merger. Like, he doesn't want any sort of dealings with it. And I was just actually kind of dumbfounded at that. Like, I try to be impartial. I know DC tries to be impartial.
After
But
that, oh no, I
yeah,
got words. I got words.
yeah,
Like,
I really
dude,
want to hear what you got to say, man. Like, I want to give you the floor because at this point, it's like, what else is Xbox supposed to do at this point, right? Like, I really want to know your thoughts
if
on
you
this.
even feel that way, if that's how you feel, don't say that crap out loud. Like, I don't understand the. Well, wait, let's correct that. I do understand what's happening here. It's quite obvious that, let's be real, PlayStation, you feel threatened, all right? Your time on the top of the hill, I
Hmm.
wouldn't say it's dwindling down, but for some reason, y'all feel that way. It's not us. It's you who feels this way, right? Like, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be going to these great lengths to stop this from happening. I honestly feel like PlayStation will still be all right if this happens. Like, I don't know why they're scrambling and just doing all this. Like, it just looks bad, man. They need to like let it go. Cause like what you said earlier, like it's just getting comical at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
just,
it doesn't make any sense.
and me personally, I'm gonna be real. Like, you guys know me. I love Xbox. I'm down with the bots. But I'm tired of hearing about this crap on both ends. Like, I'm just a little burnt out. I'm like, yo, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it's don't. If I just don't want to hear about it anymore. I do not. It's getting to the point where I just don't care. I just want it to be over with. Whatever happens, happens. Because now it's like you're just making a mockery out of the whole situation. And you've showed your hand by saying the things that you said. You've shown your hand. It seems like it doesn't even have anything to do with business now. It's almost like it's a personal attack.
And that's the thing, like, and this, in my opinion, this doesn't do anything to help the whole narrative of the console wars and the toxic fanboyism that exists, and it just seems to get worse every year. Like, it comes from a place, that, I mean, it starts at the top, in my opinion. Like, yes, Sony and PlayStation have been incredible in the last 10 years. They've released hit after hit after hit after hit when it comes to their first party. They bagged pretty much some of the biggest, if not the biggest third party exclusives over the last decade. But now it's to the point where I feel like he's willing to do or say whatever he can to protect the position that they're in, which is understandable up to a point, you know. And we've been critical of Xbox, just because they buy Activision Blizzard doesn't necessarily mean I think they're just going to automatically become number
Become the
one.
greatest thing ever, right?
Yeah, like,
That puts more pressure on them.
I agree. Like, I mean, look at when they just bought, when Microsoft bought Bethesda in 2018, when they purchased them. Like, we're just now starting to see the results of that merger. You're starting to, we're going to talk about Starfield later on. You got the Elder Scrolls expansion coming out. A lot of that stuff is really starting to kind of trickle out now. High Five Rush, that game was excellent when it dropped in January, early February. I just think it's to the point now that, and like I said, like, this, in my opinion, is going to have like some pretty big ramifications for the rest of the industry, because if these two are fighting, who's to say that behind closed doors, they're not going to do whatever it takes to nab these exclusive games for their platform. Like, I feel like it's almost tribal at this point with the the insults and the, hey, I don't want to work with you, I just kind of hate you guys at this point. That's what it,
Right,
what I
right.
mean? Like,
Because now you're burning down bridges. Because after this is all said and done, like you said, like, you're gonna be looking at, Phil's gonna be looking at this like, yo, remember how y'all was like kind of wilding out? Like,
I'm gonna remember this. That's what he's gonna say. I'm gonna remember this. And I'm curious, like, whatever the current deal that Activision has in place with Sony for Call of Duty, I'm curious when that ends, because let's say it ends in the next 2 games. We allegedly we're getting a new game this year, a premium title set in the Modern Warfare 2 universe. So that's one, and then we're gonna get a new Call of Duty next year. What happens after that? Activision just be like, hey man, remember what you said when you was in court?
yeah, remember that? Yeah, remember that?
Hey,
Because I didn't forget.
yeah,
I didn't forget.
Not to mention, like, the fee that Microsoft is going to have to pay as this deal fails. I think it's something like to the tune of $3 billion they're going to have to cough up. And yeah, they're a $1 trillion company, but they're going to have to pay if the merger doesn't go through. And that's going to be another thing that Phil's going to remember. Like, and they're going to get that get back eventually. But I think, like, ultimately, the gamers and the consumers are going to suffer because of this. Like, I was hoping we were getting to a point in the industry where console exclusives wouldn't weigh down the conversation so much, but it seems like it's more of the conversation. It's a part of the conversation more than ever. And you know, yeah, I know Call of Duty isn't exclusive, but that's been the whole crux of this conversation is Sony's fear of losing out on having that premium title. Because like I told you guys before, if you look at the charts, the sale charts for Sony, then their platform at the end of every year, the number one title, usually 1 through 3 is Call of Duty. And it's like a combination of the last couple of games that have come out. So I get it. They have a lot to lose, but this isn't the way, man. This isn't the way to do business. This isn't the way to handle yourself. And
Not
of course, I have to always say this was allegedly said, of course, but I feel like if it's coming from somebody at such a high position at Activision, there's some truth to it. Like, I really do feel like there's some truth to it because they want the deal to go through. So I don't feel like someone would just kind of make something like this up. Jim, does he give you creepy vibes? He kind of gives me like weird vibes when I look at him, like Jim Ryan. He just, you know,
Jim Ryan looks like a snake oil salesman to me. I'm just going to be honest. And I would love to sit down and talk with him about why some of these moves are being made. But he does have this very mystique kind of, because he's kind of like the opposite of Phil to me, like where Phil is like always out and about, giving out interviews and being a man of the people. And I'm not just saying this because I love Xbox, but Ryan seems like a more low key.
He seems a lot more reserved.
Yeah. He seems like he's real like chill, just, you know, he's the type of person you go to and you have to talk to the secretary. Like you're not going to talk to him. Like he's up in a glass tower looking down.
Right.
That's a good question.
I want to know like what his game list looks like, because I personally feel like you can tell a lot by a person of a gamer by the type of games they play.
He's kind of mysterious. He has a little, I will say this, he has like a little mystique to him.
Yeah.
You know, he talks very, you know, he talks, but you know, you don't see as much of him as per se like Phil or hell, even the head of Nintendo. You can bring them in. Everything that happens with Nintendo is just like you get it and then it's gone. Like you consume it.
And they don't like
they don't. They don't do too much talking.
Yeah, that's a good
Nintendo
point.
Nintendo just talks for themselves. They just drop their games and they do what they do. And you know, Nintendo is that enigma that will forever sell. Like no matter what you say about Nintendo, we've said it here a billion times. Nintendo is going to Tendo. Okay, they're going to do.
They literally got people to buy cardboard to play with. Like they can literally sell water to a fish at this point.
And that should be a study, because that's definitely an art.
You know what I mean?
Like Nintendo has built up such a strong brand that they literally can sell you cardboard. Okay,
it's wild.
Shout out to Nintendo, man.
Like I thought that was an April Fool's joke when people were buying that stuff back then. I was like, there's no way you guys are actually spending
It was
money
kind of innovative though.
It was
kind of innovative, and that's one of the things that I always appreciate about Nintendo. Shout out to the Tendo heads in here if we have any, but yeah, they're not scared to kind of push the envelope and try new things. Like when they had the Mario Kart where you connect a camera to the little race car, you race it throughout your house in real life. Like,
you know, I actually saw a streamer play with that and it actually worked really well. Like the AR like kind of mixed in with it. Like that was actually a pretty cool thing. I'll give it.
So, you know, just doing little things like that. You know, they've always been able to stand on their own 2 feet and kind of hold down their own region in the world of games. You know what I mean? Like they like the Leaf Village. You know what I'm saying? They holding it down. You know, they don't say much, don't do much, but they have one hell of an impact.
That's true. I you know, you're right. But I don't know, man. I say this all the time. Like, you know, hopefully there's nothing else crazy that comes out about this deal, because I'm just kind of like DC. I'm ready for it to be over so we can move on and see what happens after. I'm more curious about the after, you know, what the industry is going to look like afterwards. I still think it's going to go through. You know, they're going to kick in, you know, Sony's gonna kick and scream and stomp their feet, but ultimately, I think
Hmm.
Xbox is like I said, they're putting on that full court press right now, man. They're working it, so we'll see what happens,
Big
man.
press.
We'll see.
Yeah, man.
And we're gonna slide on along here, man. This one actually kind of caught me off guard. I was not expecting this story to come out. Jason Schreier, the local. I don't know how this
Big
guy
Shroud.
knows what he knows. Yeah, he is definitely a detective, very well known detective when it comes to rumors and stuff in the industry. And I of course, I'm always going to say this because there hasn't been an official announcement yet about Suicide Squad, but there is a rumor, according to Jason Schreier, he wrote an article on Bloomberg, March the 9th, that Suicide Squad has actually been delayed until later this year. It was originally supposed to come out June. No, it's actually supposed to come out like May 28th, if I remember right. But apparently, because of the negative reaction the game got at the most recent Sony State of Play, they have elected to delay the game to later this year. And man, like, I could not have put this on my bingo card for this year to have Suicide Squad be delayed out of that May time slot. I mean, we talked about it. It wasn't the best showing of the game, and I think the game looked incredibly uninspiring, boring. The characters all look like they play very similarly. And if they're delaying it to later this year, like I don't understand, like what do you feel like they could change that would appease the wider gaming community at this point, DC? Like, and because personally, I think if they're gonna delay it, they might as well just push it into next year at this point.
Well, let me tell you what I think. First of all, before I get into that, we did say that we were going to see some delays and pushbacks in some games.
True.
With all these games coming out, we knew this won't be the first or the last game that gets shuffled around this year. It's a very busy year, and we're going to see a little bit more shuffling as people try to get their footing and try to figure out when's going to be the best time to drop their masterpieces. Now, with that being said, man, how do I feel? I'm always with the delay. And I'm going to tell you why. And especially this year, the year of games, right? 2023, the year of games. Push it back because we have so many good games coming out. You can't afford to slip. Like, you will be forgotten so fast. If they drop that game and it's half-assed, they would be forgotten so fast because people are going to easily move on to the next game. We have so many games coming out. So whoever over there pulling the strings, or if this rumor is true or whatever's going on, because I'm seeing a lot of articles and I'm not even sure if it's a rumor anymore. I don't know. But if they do push it back, me personally, I'm always okay with a pushback because I am in the sound mind of take your time, get it right. We have backlogs. Gamers have backlogs. We always have something to play, whether we admit it or not. We have something to do.
Perpetual backlogs at that.
Yes. And I'm just okay with them pushing back if it takes them more time, because I know that these developers and stuff, sometimes they just on these ridiculous crunch. They have this ridiculous amount of pressure to get these games out. So, yeah. And then from what we've seen, right, it wasn't really a lot of positive press from what they showed. Okay. Let's just be honest.
No.
And I don't know how much of the core game they can fix from now to whenever they push it back, but I would be fine with them just going ahead and pushing it to 2024. To be honest, because it's too much going on. It's too much going on with that game that's not good.
And I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head too about like the release date thing, because June is really probably, I think, outside of maybe October this year, is probably going to be the biggest month of the year for games, because you have Street Fighter, you have Zelda, and you have Diablo 4 coming out all in the same month. I think they all come out like 3 weeks apart, like, within 3 weeks of each other. And this game, while it was trying to get out the door early, I think that I agree with you. Delays do suck. In the grand scheme of things, of course, there are probably some people that are excited about this game, but me personally, I feel like Warner Brothers has just really kind of like slipped a little bit over the last couple of titles they've released outside of like Hogwarts Legacy, because most people seem like they were pretty happy with that game, and with the sales, with the amount of sales that the game made. I think that's probably like their most successful game that they've had over the last couple of years. I mean, Gotham Knights kind of just, it came and went. It's kind of like snuffed out pretty quickly. I mean, of course, you got like Mortal Kombat to always lean back on. We haven't seen Injustice in quite a long time. But outside of like really like those two franchises, like, Warner Brothers used to be, in my opinion, like because of Rocksteady, they were really one of those like premier developer publishers in the industry. And
right.
The one thing I would really hate for this game to come out and not do well, because I'm such a big fan of Rocksteady and the games that, the Arkham games that they released. I'm with you, man. I don't necessarily think this delay was to completely overhaul the game, because that would probably call for a much longer delay at that point.
It would be super long.
Yeah, like they, and once again, of course, this is all alleged, allegedly getting pushed back later into this year. We don't really know what the fall looks like past September at this point. We know Spider-Man 2 is coming out. That's going to command some attention. Call of Duty is going to command attention. We really won't know until May or June what the second half of the year looks like. So,
man, play it safe, bro.
Like, maybe push it to December. You don't really have.
I promise you, bro. February 2024.
Yeah,
just do that. Clear your slate. So first of all, you're not competing against anything that we know of yet, because we don't know what's dropping in 2024 February. So I would say give something to the people at the top of the year, or maybe even end of January, early February, when everybody's kind of tuckered themselves out from playing all the great games that we got in 2023. Then you drop a surprise. Hopefully you could fix up whatever you can, make it more desirable for the people. Drop that thing and then see what it do, because I don't like I said, man, it's so competitive in the space right now. You can't really afford to slack at all. Like, you drop something, you're going to be forgotten within 2 to 3 weeks.
True.
Hell, look, think about it like this. Harry Potter was a great game. Everyone was playing it, right? But unfortunately, once you beat the game, there isn't too much to do. So it kind of dropped down in popularity. And this is not saying that it's a bad game.
No, it's just people are moving on. Like,
but yeah, people don't have a choice. People, it's like, oh, I played Harry Potter. Oh, it was a great experience. Boom, it's over. Okay, next game we got, Atomic Heart. We got this, we got that. Blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just rapid pace. So I think they would do themselves a great justice to just January, man. Get us like a good end of January drop.
I just want it to be good, man. I know live service games are so hard to make. I mean, Destiny really is the only one in the last 9 years that has come and stayed and really put their stamp on the industry. Like, they have a chokehold on that genre right now. And I don't know, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that people are tired of live service games. I think it's just, I don't play Destiny anymore. People still love the game. Like, there hasn't been anything as good in the live service arena as Destiny.
Because you know why live service? Because live service, people don't understand. With live service, it's really a lot of pressure on the devs, because you have to constantly create content, and good, engaging content at that. And you know who else is doing it surprisingly well that we don't talk about? And it's an odd pairing. Grand Theft Auto Online.
You could consider GTA Online
dude, they're dropping something mid this month. I think next week they're dropping more content. Like, I just started playing GTA again, and the surprising amount of stuff that was added to that game is ridiculous.
That's a good point. I mean, you really can look at it like that. I mean, if we're being honest, like, MMOs were essentially the first live service games. Like, because they, those games are getting updated over time, and I consider GTA to be an MMO at this point. just with the structure of
Dude,
it and everything. So yeah, that's a very
it
good point.
really is. It really is. Like people are not really discussing it. And you can go look on. I was just checking Twitch before we got here, Twitch and Steam. It's still up there in the players category. Like
That's
people are
true.
still playing this game heavily. And I remember I keep trying to find this article every time that I talk about this, but I swear like when GTA Online was first introduced, I don't know who said it, but this was one of their visions to eventually have an online game that was gonna last. And well, yeah, here we are. Like I'm seeing people's level in GTA, like they're like 2010, 1070. Like you have people who
Jesus.
legitimately been playing this game for almost 10 years. So
That's
yeah.
crazy. That is pretty crazy, man. When you say it like that, yeah, that is true. So, I mean, maybe they're just trying to bring in a different stream of revenue with this game. I mean, I think this would have been better served going to another studio and just let Rocksteady continue to make those great single player games. But I mean, it's too late. They're here now. They've already invested, a number of years into this game. So I really do want it to succeed. It just has to be. There's not going to be much room for a miss when it comes to live service. I mean, look at what happened to Avengers. Let's just be honest.
Mhm.
I loved Avengers when it came out. But about a
It's
month
so hard.
in, I was just like, you start to see the cracks in the armor, you start to see the
It's
problems.
so hard, man. It is so hard to just stick the landing when it comes to these type of games. Games like this, man. It's
It's
like you
tough.
said, Destiny just have one of they have like such a cult following. It's
Hmm.
like Warframe. Destiny and Warframe seem to get it right. And what I love about Warframe is because it's total opposite of Destiny. It's a smaller scaled studio,
We had digital
and
streams, yeah.
yeah, they're a smaller studio. Destiny's a lot bigger, but those two games tend to do something that keeps bringing the people back. Whatever it is, whatever it's the content, the whatever like whatever you can get in game, whatever it is, they seem to have mastered the art of it. Speaking of which, it's kind of crazy because I need to check I need to check on what's the other game I just said? Warframe. Because I haven't heard nothing about Warframe in a while. Because usually they have like an
That's a good
event or
point.
something,
Yeah.
or they have their what is it? They have like their own little con. I forgot what the name of it is.
TennoCon, I think. And
Yeah,
honestly, I think they're developing a new game in that universe called Soulframe. I think I heard something about this. Yeah. I'm looking at it now. I'm not to say that they've probably given up on Warframe itself, but this is supposed to be. I'm not sure exactly what this game
maybe
is
it's the
supposed to
next
be,
step
but
in the game. Maybe it's like the Warframe 2,
yeah,
Maybe and I could like Warframe is has a very big following as well. Like it's fun to get in these games and get in these communities because I used to play Warframe when I got tired of Destiny. I wanted to try something different, and I enjoyed Warframe for what it was. Now, granted, like the lure and the builds were kind of crazy, but one of my friends helped me through it. He helped me with a couple of builds, and it can get really insane when you get like a
yeah.
different kind of armor and build. It gets crazy, dude. But
They've definitely like the build. Like you can actually build into things in Destiny now, which is really cool. My problem with the
yeah, I
game is
see that
just
they
like
have.
always is just like that core gameplay loop. It's too
That's
familiar at this
one
point.
thing that if Destiny changes that, I would be all for returning. Like I'm just not big on daily nightfall, daily nightfall,
Checklist.
daily nightfall,
Honestly,
daily nightfall.
there's this theory going around, and I kind of agree with it. That so they just had this expansion Lightfall this year. Their next expansion is supposedly the final chapter in the Light versus Dark saga. The final
Hmm.
shape comes out next year. I'm presuming it's going to come out next February. There's this theory. People are thinking that that's going to be the closing chapter of Destiny 2, and then whatever comes after that, or Destiny 3, if you want to call it that, will be after that. Which I would 100% come back to Destiny for that. I would
come back to Destiny 3.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm done with 2. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a wrap for me.
Yeah,
but if they did Destiny 3, I feel like it's starting over, and I feel like I have a home. I feel like I belong. Like right now, I just
like give me a time skip, put us in a different universe. Brand new stories, lore. I would love that, honestly. Like, and maybe we'll get that. We'll see.
I don't want to see no more Cabal. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Hey, Destiny,
Vex,
hear me out. No. Specifically, Cabal. Okay, I hate them. I'm here to get my hate off right now. I hate the Cabal, bro. They just big. They're stupid looking. They're clunky. Their guns are dumb. Their boss is dumb. Their stupid boss ship is stupid and dumb. Like, I'm here to get my hate off on the Cabal right now. You know what? I might name the title of this episode Cabal Hate, because I hate them so much. But let me not go off on a tangent. You got the floor, brother.
That's awesome, man. That's great. But yeah, man. So
I hate them.
We'll see. Like, of course, this is always speculation and stuff. They could just release the game and fix it while people play it. That's what most live service games do anyway. I'm hoping that it get pushed back, man, because like I said, so I just looked up the release date, May 26th. That's like a week before Street Fighter 6 comes out. Or
boy, ain't nobody gonna be checking you. Look, let me tell you.
I'll just be honest. Yeah,
push that thing back. Push that thing back, man.
When Street Fighter comes out, nothing else matters.
You got people hyped to play Street Fighter who don't even play fighting games. No, just push that thing back, man.
Yeah, so hopefully that game gets the love it deserves, man. I don't know. But speaking of release dates, DC, we finally got one.
Segway King, he's back.
We finally have gotten a confirmation of a release date for Starfield, September the 6th, 2023. That's a Wednesday, by the way. Bethesda just doesn't care about you taking off work. They don't care if you have to go to work during the week. Just play it. But yeah, so Bethesda dropped a trailer this past week. It was essentially an announcement trailer, I guess you could say. It's about 3 minutes long. I actually really liked the trailer. And let me tell you why I think they slick, right? Because you remember when we got that trailer from Starfield last year and how the frame rate looked so bad in the game. Like, it was clunky. The game looked like it moved really slow. And I don't know if you watched the release date trailer, but at one point you had Todd, Father Todd, talking in the studio, and behind him he had some people playing Starfield on a couch. The game looked really good. It looked really smooth. The frame rate looked great.
That one build for the commercial.
The one build for the game. I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit, man. The game looks really, really good. Like, it looks a lot better visually, technically. I know some people were upset that the game's not coming out in that 12-month window that Microsoft announced last year. Hey, these games that we announced are coming out in 12 months. So it's going to miss that June release date, but it's getting its own direct, which follows directly after. I mean, Microsoft really they was just dropping haymakers this week. We got a announcement of the Microsoft showcase on June 11th, along with the Starfield direct directly after that. So yeah, man, how are you kind of feeling about the release date, man? Are you happy, sad? You don't care? Are you still kind of on the fence about Starfield? Our local Bethesda guy?
I'm forever going to be on the fence about Starfield. Let's get one thing straight. You could show me all this shine and razzle dazzle, but if I'm still picking locks the same damn way, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be very upset. And you know what? All jokes aside, let's not even I'm just joking when I say that. Partially, I would be mad, but I'm not going to throw a whole game away because of picking a lock. But anyway, I think this game will be pushed back. My predictions.
Past September?
I think so. It's going to be a little push. I think it's going to be a little push. What is it? They're going to push it back to around that holiday.
Ooh, but they got to worry about Spider-Man, though, man. I don't.
No, because I got a feeling if I want to write this down. I got a feeling they're going to go for that November slot.
Ooh, that's tough, man.
I think they're going to go for that November slot. They're going to have a minor pushback to debug a few things because this game has to hit. This game has to be perfect. This game, there's so much pressure on this game. Microsoft, Bethesda, like, it's not even funny. I don't think they're going to risk dropping, even if it's something they can fix, like one of those fixer-uppers as you play along. I don't even think they want to risk that. This is how important this game is to Microsoft. And with that being said, I'm pretty sure there's major crunch out of the ass right now. Like this game, because think about it. If this game come out and this game is trash, or if it's below average or subpar, what does Microsoft have? Like honestly, like what it needs, like it has stuff. Don't get me wrong, it has a lot of cool little things.
No, but yeah,
but they need that big hit. They need a huge haymaker, Darius. They need to punch someone in the face. Like this game has to have everyone talking. It can't just be a Skyrim in space. This game has to have its own identity. It has to pull people in. It has to be a system seller. It has to have people saying, oh my God, did you see that? I gotta buy an Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Or I have to get Game Pass. Like this bad boy has to be nothing less than a knockout. And I feel like whatever it takes to get them to that point, then they are willing to do it. People may be pissed off if it gets pushed back a little bit. And even if it is going against Spider-Man, I feel like with enough intrigue that this game has, it separates itself from Spider-Man. It's two different kind of games.
I don't know.
I mean, Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know.
But it's going to be a tough decision. Hell, like, but bro, this game, it has to be stuck in people's memory. Like, because think about it like this, Darius. If it comes out September, right? And just because, like, just like you said, Spider-Man comes out after it. So if it comes out and it's sucky and it's one of those fixer-uppers, then you got Spider-Man coming. Guess what? It's another easily forgotten game. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place here with this game. So the only way they can come out on top is this thing got to be banging, bro. It has to be the one. And the fact, no matter, even if it don't get pushed back into Spider-Man's territory, it's still inadvertently competing with Spider-Man. Whether you believe, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was gonna say, and I'm right there with your line of thinking. Right, the only thing, and just like and just like our good friend Sergey in chat mentioned about Skyrim, I'm of two minds. Right, the first one is, I think it's gonna stick the landing, for better or for worse. I think it's gonna come out September 6th.
I hope so. I
think. And this is like kind of where I wanted to ask you, like, let's say the game comes out and it has just some minor bugs. Hey, I can't.
Oh, they gonna fix that ASAP.
I'm stuck in this rock, or I can't open this door to finish this quest.
Oh, they'll be pushing through updates.
Yeah, nothing game breaking though, right?
Right.
Would you consider, and let's say the game is everything you want it to be and more, just like, not just you,
just
but
little
just like the gaming industry in general, right? Would you consider the game a success then? Because I feel like no matter what, and
if there's small stuff and stuff that you can patch, like, you know, games come out and they have their day one patches, and
right,
you know, people have problems. Like, you know, everyone's not a God of War who can just come out and just be all pristine and sexy. But you know, if it has a few day one patches, a few patches between the release date and the weekend, or you know, stuff like that, I'm forgiving. But it just depends on the people. I'm forgiving. So the rest of the world might
the industry
be
itself is
yeah,
hard, right?
Yeah. I'm forgiving.
And that's the thing I'm kind of stuck on here, right? Because, and I wanted to go back to the showcase announcement that they dropped. I feel like we're gonna get, you know, and I hope, and maybe we could probably like push this into the week after next. For conversation, like as far as like the Microsoft showcase, I hope we get a picture of what they have planned beyond this year, because we have the names of certain games, of certain titles, but we have no release dates. And that's for Sony too. Like, we don't know anything that's coming out next year. And I feel like we're sitting at another like floodgate moment, you know, like for games. I think 2024 is going to be just as busy. And I'm still sticking to my original prediction that we're going to get Hellblade 2 sometime this year. And I think the Hellblade is going to come out sometime in November. And
surprise drop? We gonna get a Beyonce drop?
Yeah, I mean, because you think about it, right? Like, they need 2 big titles, I think, going into the fall. I think to make this year really like a knockout, blow your socks off success. I mean, because we haven't really seen much of Hellblade lately, but I really feel like we're gonna get that big showcase moment for Hellblade 2 at the showcase this year. Like actual gameplay, not just
you know what,
not the cinematic stuff.
It's about time, right?
It's about time, right?
That's
the
sneaky left hook that they.
That's my thing.
What if it's a backup to if Starfield don't hit the mark?
Exactly, right. So you have that thing that's covered, and I agree with you to the point that Starfield is a different type of open world game versus, you know, the single player masterpiece that's going to be Spider-Man. I'm just going to call it. It's going to be a 10 out of 10. Let's not even pretend.
Man?
Yeah, let's not pretend. Let's not posture here, guys. Spider-Man 2 is going to be a 10 out of 10. It's going to be the biggest game. Whenever it comes out, that's going to be the biggest game at that point.
It's certain things that you cannot mess up even if you tried. And Spider-Man is one of them. Like, they could pick boo-boo villains.
They have literally been knocking games out of the park since Jack and Daxter. Like, they have been that studio.
But you know what? They're just like, it's just like God of War. Like, these guys really take their time. They're not on nobody's clock. They don't care what you're talking about. They don't hear the noise. They don't hear the white noise. They just produce these games. They drop them when they feel like they are ready. 9 times out of 9, they're actually ready. They come with very, very small, minute, minimal problems that are usually fixed immediately. And I love it. I feel like a lot of games can learn from that.
You really need that. And not to say Starfield isn't a premier title. It definitely is, right? Like, Starfield is going to be one of those games, just like Cyberpunk, just like Elden Ring, that literally everybody on Earth is going to play. Everybody on Earth is going to play it. And I feel like to truly, really get that level of competition, or to show that you can make the Last of Us 2's, the God of War, that level of a single player game, it's got to be Hellblade. And I think it has to come out this year. I think it's going to come out this year. Like, I think we'll get a late November release date.
You brought some sauce to the topics.
Like,
you brought some sauce.
You know,
I didn't think about Hellblade.
It's going to probably come out before Black Friday, right? You know, they'll probably do like a Black Friday Game Pass deal or whatever. They're going to be promoting the hell out of it. Like, Microsoft, I think, is going to really like pull the curtain back and show us what's past, and even once again, even beyond that, because there's 20-something studios that they have. We haven't seen anything about Avowed. We haven't seen anything from God, what's the name of that studio? Contraband, I think.
It's too many to remember.
What are all the other studios working on? Like the developers of Sea of Thieves, they're working on Rare. They're working on a new game, Everwild. Haven't heard anything about that.
Now, do you think this is purposely, or is there some kind of big scheme here? Do you think Microsoft is over there cooking in a kitchen?
Yes or and no. I think, and I'm gonna always go back to this, man. Like, years from now, like, I'm gonna keep going back to it. Cyberpunk changed the industry. It really did. I think Cyberpunk coming out in the state that it did change. It is the nexus flashpoint of the games industry. Everybody took notice of that. Everybody. And there nobody wants to be the next Cyberpunk. And I think that Microsoft realizes that, just like you said, right, it's time to put up or shut up. And they're at the point now where they have to start producing these great games. Because at this point going forward, it's all on them. It's not just, hey, we bought this studio and they were already working on this. You know, all the credit for good and bad is going to be on their heads going forward. And that's why I think that I honestly think that Hellblade 2 is gonna be the best game that they release under the first party banner. I do.
Yeah, Hellblade is gonna be
Like it has to
crazy.
be. It just
It's gonna
it
be
just has to
Hellblade is gonna
be.
be insane, dude. Oh my god, bro! I can't wait till that game comes out. And for what it's worth, I really want a game to sink my teeth into. So I really do. As much
Yeah.
crap as I joke on about Starfield, I do want it to be good. I do. I have a stoic history of sorts with Bethesda,
You do.
and I've played a lot of their games and I've enjoyed them. And I've had criticisms too because I do feel like they kind of got into this groove and started. They do. It's like the Ubisoft effect. Like they found something that kind of worked, a formula, and they stuck to it. I feel like
Yeah.
they stuck to it a little too hard, and then that's when the game started to get a little repetitive and a little boring. But I think with Starfield, they have a lot of space to right that ship. I believe that they can actually. This could be groundbreaking and a true next gen experience. And so I'm really, really, really. I give them crap because I love them,
Cause
and I want them to win.
this is what like their first new IP in like almost 2 decades or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And they're using, I believe they're using like totally new engine,
yeah,
everything.
they worked with those really smart people at Microsoft to make like the Creation Engine 2, I think it's called.
And that kind of that gets me excited, and it also scares me a bit. That's why I'm a little apprehensive. But they do have the power of Microsoft behind them, so hopefully everything goes smooth. But they definitely needed an overhaul,
Mhm.
and with that engine, I am very, very excited to see what they can produce. I would love being a space pirate, just traveling around,
Oh
causing all types
man.
of mischief, aka Mass Effect, because my shit ship is still shepping, baby.
And
But
then like
yeah,
the mods and stuff that are gonna come out for the game. I mean, I think it really is gonna be like a statement from Bethesda and Xbox.
yeah, and that's the love when people mod their games.
Mm-hmm.
So they like, yo, don't mod it just yet. It's brand new. But once the game get about a year old, then they kind of open it up to modders to
Yeah.
kind of do whatever they want with it. And that I always thought that was cool of Bethesda, like because they're smart. They use that as a promotional tool to kind of keep their games in the game sphere for extenuant amounts of time. Like that's why people still play Skyrim because it's like totally moddable now.
Yeah.
Like you can do whatever you
And it's
want.
been released
And
like 9 times.
I
You
wish
know?
like if Rockstar was smart, if you hear me, Rockstar, y'all would go ahead and just do that with GTA
Oh
Online.
man.
Just let it become completely. I know it's kind of moddable through the 5M and RP community, but just go ahead and blow that thing out. Let like because there's certain like things you can do through 5M, but I'm talking about just let all the modders just run wild with it. Like the game is 10 years old, for God's sakes. You know,
It'd be cool to like design, and I don't know if you can do this already, but it'd be cool to make like your own missions, like not just select from like pre-made stuff that they already have set up, but like imagine
Mhm.
somebody made like a heist, like kind of like at the level that you have in
Mm,
the story modes. Like
exactly.
I would
That's
love
what
to
I'm
see
saying.
like something like that, and maybe that's what we'll get with GTA 6. I
Boy,
mean,
you can get another 10 years out of that game.
yeah,
Like if you do that, if you open it all the way up like that, boy, that game would be 20 years old. Yeah. You definitely can get a lot of people in tune and in touch with the game because I tell you what, hey man, I played a little Halo this week, man.
oh, you
And
did.
they opened up, they're dropping Forge community maps. And people, the maps are very fun. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie and say I didn't enjoy myself. I had a fun time, man. So
I gotta
there's
get back
that,
in. I gotta get back into Halo. I gotta re-download it. They just started the esports just started back up for this year too. So
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta jump
fun.
back into it, man. They're still supporting the game, and shout out to 343. I mean, we were very critical of you guys for that, but they're pushing forward with it. Just don't release the season 2 of the Halo TV show. That's it. Just leave that dead and buried.
No more Chief Cheeks. We
Yeah,
don't want to
please. No
see
more
it.
naked chief. Thank you.
Thank you. We're
Um,
we're, we're good. We didn't
yeah.
need that.
Sergey in chat says, I wonder if Tiso Is that Elder Scrolls Online you're talking about? TESO was like GTA Online. GTA Online is really just, it's become a pretty big staple in the industry, and it's gonna. I mean, ever since like the early 2000s, Grand Theft Auto has just been, and I don't know if it's just because people get to live out this fantasy of intrusive thoughts that they have. That's what I like to call it.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, but I'm gonna let you finish your thoughts.
No, that's it. That's it. It's just like when you think about it, GTA is like one big intrusive thought. What if I just shoot this guy in the head or rob this bank or?
Well, the thing is, what GTA Online has turned into now, I notice when you go in a lot of lobbies, people are not so aggressive now because everyone is trying to make money.
Yeah.
So long as you don't mess with anyone, because like, for example, like my club, like I own, like I have a club and all this stuff,
right?
And it generates like $200,000 depending on how much stuff it's all these different variables, like how well you promote your club, and you got to fly around in a blimp and throw out flyers and do these little weird missions to promote your club so you can get more money. And while you're doing that, you're moving around the city, right?
That'd be interesting.
So long as nobody, no, that's the thing. That's what you do.
Oh.
But long as no one comes and try to mess with that, most people kind of stay to themselves. There's a lot of missions where you have to traverse across the city. You may have to, like my weed shop, for example. You know, I have to deliver like weed I have to distribute weed throughout the city. So long as no one comes and try to steal my weed truck, we good. So it seems like a lot of people have calmed down because, you know, people used to be real trolls. They'll come and blow up your truck and take your money. But now, from the lobbies that I've been in since I've came back, everyone seems to be kind of in their own little lane, doing their businesses and generating money to buy God knows what. Like, it's weird to me because everyone wants money. It's a reflection on life. It's like everyone wants money, but it's like when you ask them what for, I can get my nephew on the show and have him explain it because he is deep into it. Like he has like $999 million, all the businesses, every vehicle. Like he is a GTA. But when I ask him like, what is the point of having all this money? And just like, oh, so when new stuff come out, I can buy it. That's it. Like when they drop new cars and stuff, oh, I can buy it. They just drop a 50-car garage, like just so you can put your cars in. Like
Jesus.
They have car shows, they have takeovers, they have all this stuff. Like they've added so much stuff into the game. It's ridiculous. The underground like car scene in the game, there's an actual community for this stuff. Like there are people that get their cars, they have cruises, they have takeovers. The game has literally, it's just a living, breathing economy. And it's just here. I can't explain it. Like people play it. They have fun. You know, people get together. They have fight clubs. They have
what?
Yeah, there's like underground fight clubs there. And that's not even including the games that the actual developers put into the online thing. There's a lot of fun online games that you can play, and then people create their own little games. Then you have GTA RP. It's just it's crazy to see, man. It's strange, but it's so much going on. Like our good friend Dre over there at Corrupted Data Podcast, I was talking to him yesterday. He started back playing it, and it's like, oh man, I got to do these heists to get this money. And I'm like, okay, so what do you get the money for? And everybody says the same thing, like, oh, I got to have the new stuff, or I got to have this. Like
that's how they get you. That's how they get you.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, interesting. It's interesting stuff, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, to talk about like what you were mentioning, Sergey, about Elder Scrolls. I know they have like a new expansion coming out soon. I really wish I had time to play an MMO. There's such a huge time investment. You can't really play other games. Like I hear nothing but good things about Elder Scrolls Online, and I really do like want to take some time to really check it out because I've heard great things. It was on Game Pass at one point, but I'm not sure why it isn't anymore. Maybe if it ever comes back onto Game Pass, like I'll check it out because I haven't played a lot of Bethesda games. Like I just missed a lot of them over the years. But DC's played quite a few, and I don't know if he's ever had the chance or time to play.
I've played online, Elder Scrolls Online. I couldn't. It wasn't nothing wrong with it. I need to go back and like I just did like the beginner part. I assume,
Yeah.
but I can see how people get into it. I just haven't had enough time to experience it. It's a lot of games and stuff, and then being grown doesn't help. Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
you only have
that goes with that too. Being an adult.
you only have so much time to play whatever it is you're into. And Sergey said he can't understand why people play GTA RP. The thing about that is because I am a part of a couple of RP communities. I would say this. It depends on people's creativity.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends on people's creativity because it could be. I've been a part of some really cool stuff. Like last night, oh my God. Man, I'll tell you about that later. Last night was out of control. Let's just say somebody tried to rob me. Somebody got popped. I had an unregistered gun, so I had to go to jail. Then they found out that the gun was a cop gun, and yeah, I'm in trouble right now. I have to go to court. So.
Oh man!
And I may be going to jail again, because I won't. They want to know where I got the gun from. I won't tell them.
It's just like it's just like living out a fantasy. Like
I'm no snitch. Like, no, see, look, Archie, man, I was going on the straight and narrow, okay? I was just trying to own a club, get some dancers, and live a good life.
This shit goes left.
And the mother of my child, first of all, it starts off with the mother of my child stealing my car, but that's another story. But yeah, it depends on just who you're playing with and how creative people want to get, and it could be you could create some very interesting storylines. I've been in a lot of bad RPs too, where everybody just want to run around, shoot and kill each other. I'm like, dude, you could just play online.
Regular GTA Online, right?
Yeah, it's not for everybody, Sergey. I get it. Like it can be a little weird, but that's the joys of gaming, right? You get into what you like.
That's true.
So, yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely as it approaches the back half of the year, I'm really curious to see what happens with Starfield, with the rest of the year, what Sony has planned. It's gonna be a huge year, guys. Like, I know we keep saying it, but it's really about to start ramping up like this month. Like, it's after.
Oh, we're gonna remind you every episode.
Yeah, it's definitely about to start ramping up. So we'll be here to cover everything that we can, man, everything that we like and don't like. But thank you guys for hanging out for episode 144, man. As always, I appreciate y'all. If you guys are listening to the audio version, we record this podcast every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/there's-the-artist. I appreciate you guys for being here. You guys can find me everywhere. Darius the Artist, where E is a 3. And please make sure you guys go check out my YouTube. I just uploaded the Resident Evil 4 Chainsaw demo gameplay yesterday. We're back on the YouTube grind, baby. That game is going to be awesome. I'm super excited for it, man. I got some more heat coming for you guys this next week. That's going to be the end for me, and I'm going to let DC take us home, baby.
All right, I only got one important announcement here, all right? I got one. First of all, shout out to Lucky City RP. Thanks for reminding me. We had our first karaoke event last night. Very entertaining stuff, by the way.
That's awesome.
Very, very, very. That's why I came in there. I was just like, baby girl, won't you get with this? You know how I do. I had to sing it up for them, but it was a fun event, man. Shout out to Lucky City RP, man. Hopefully we can get Lucky on the show. I'm working on that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. And then also, very important announcement here. Which camera am I looking into? There's a lot of cameras around here. All right. No. Anyway, next week, guys, we will be having a guest by the name of Pia Khalifa, one of our friends of the show. She's a Call of Duty-aholic. So, I'm going to roll my eyes at that, but we're going to have her on the show for Ladies Month. We're going to talk about, her experience with Call of Duty and other games that she plays. And we're going to talk a little bit about life because she's also in the Army. And we're going to talk about how she manages the two, because I'm pretty sure being in the Army, pretty sure it's a lot of work. I'm pretty sure,
Being former military yourself.
Being former military, yeah, I definitely know how that goes. So we're going to talk to her next week, see how she balances it all out. And we love having guests here, and
Yes, please.
can't wait to have her. And that's all I got to say, man. That's pretty much it, baby.
Awesome, man. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you guys are in chat, hang around. We're going to play some video games. Otherwise, that's the end of the audio version. And we will see y'all next week. Peace.
Ooh, hey, you know.